Let's get serious.
Listen up a minute.
Let's get serious.
Welcome to Freedom Island. You're listening to The Bell Howard Show. And now, here's your host, Bell Howard.
Bell Howard here, The Bell Howard Show. Thanks so much for joining us. A lot to get to. I'm in Azerbaijan. I'm married to a horse lady, which is actually better than being married to a cat lady. If you want to know the whole story of that, or how I got here, why I'm married to a horse lady, you can go back and listen to previous episodes. Back in touch with my producer, Wes. We patched things up after he shot me with a harpoon gun. Actually, he missed, but he shot a harpoon gun at me, and that was sort of the end of it for a while, but he got back in touch, and, we patched things up. So he's tentatively back as a producer, although not doing any heavy lifting yet. He did, however, cook up the intro to the show, so thanks to Wes for that. It's starting to sound more like the old show, and so that's good if you missed the old show. And if you've been sticking with me through this rough transition in my life here in Azerbaijan, I want to thank you especially. It means a lot that you didn't jump ship or jump off the oil rig, as it were. So thanks for sticking around. So to show my appreciation, I'm opening up a chat room. You will be able to ask questions live. It's the first time I'm doing this. I'm a little nervous. So I'm opening up the chat room now, and anytime you can kind of chime in, ask me a question, make a comment, and, maybe I'll read it during the show. So I'm getting a message here. First one from Flying Saucer Hot Sauce, who says, Bell, what do you look like? Post a picture. I respect other people's anonymity online, and, I'd appreciate it if you would respect mine. It's kind of a rule for me. I'm old-fashioned, I know, but that's just the way it goes. Okay. Another message from I'm a 10. Bell, show us your ass. All right. See, I was afraid of this. People get a little dirty. Now, look, I've been on some adult message boards before, and the online anonymity that you enjoy soon turns into some pretty raunchy exchanges, including pictures. But, if I'm not going to show you my face online, I'm definitely not going to show you my butt cheeks. So let's just keep the language respectful, okay? And when I talk to my guest, please do the same, okay? The Bell Howard Show is brought to you by halfeaten.com. The best selection of half-eaten foods can be found at halfeaten.com. Halfeaten.com takes care to procure only the finest unfinished dishes from America's best restaurants and bakeries. Choose from our selection of half-eaten BLTs, seafood samplers, mesquite grilled platters, and of course those delicious chocolate chip cookies. Who would be crazy enough not to finish those? I don't know, but their loss is your gain. Of course, all foods on halfeaten.com are half off the original price, and all bite marks from the previous eater are removed. So you are left with an almost as good as new dish. Go to halfeaten.com right now to order your free sampler platter that features the best of all of our half-eaten foods that have already been half-eaten. So really, the sampler platter is a half-eaten dish that has been half-eaten and returned. So it's half of a half, so a quarter. But it's free, so, that's fair. And don't worry, all half-eaten foods are preserved in an all-natural probiotic formula, Fetaform, which was unanimously approved by Goat Farmers of America. And I'm eating right now. I'm eating the grilled macaroni platter from probably from Chili's. Yep, it's Chili's in Pittsburgh. All half-eaten foods are sent to your home in a box with a sticker that says the original restaurant. So if you have any problems whatsoever, you can call that restaurant. But let's take another bite here. The mac and cheese I ordered, still yellow. The brown tinge they get from the skillet is a little gray, but that's to be expected. It had, it had to be shipped here to Azerbaijan. A surprisingly successful business, even in a pandemic. So that's halfeaten.com. Go check it out today. Okay, a lot to get to. Romance is in the air, and it might just take the form of a long-range cruise missile. North Korea says it successfully launched a new kind of missile, and my next guest says he successfully launched a long-distance relationship with a North Korean who is part of a resistance movement within the country. Their relationship is all online, but he and some of his fellow online nerds, folk, are trying to aid their efforts and possibly get them out. He also says he has a picture of her, and she's a stunner, even though she wears that baggy North Korean pajama-like worker's outfit, that thing that they have. Byron Farthermore is on the phone. What is that outfit, Byron, that everyone wears over there? It's like a denim pair of pajamas. How do the fellows tell if if the woman is a 5 or a 10 if you can't see the goods?
I'm sorry. I never said she was a stunner. I've actually never seen a picture of her. I judge people by their words, not their looks. And if I'm talking face to face with someone, I don't see race or sex. I don't want this conversation just to turn sexist right off the bat, okay?
Well, I'm sorry for making you uncomfortable. Let's start over and let's talk about who you are, and then we'll talk about how you hooked up with, how you got in touch with this lady who shall remain anonymous as per our discussion. But you know what? Let's call her Kim, because that's such a common name over there. I think
that's her name. Why did you... I think that's her name. Why did you say that?
Well, you just let the cat out of the bag right there, Byron. I mean, you could have just went along with it and...
Great. If she's hurt or killed, it's your fault.
We'll edit this part out, okay?
All right.
Byron, thanks for coming on the show. Now, tell us about you. Who are you?
I'm 23. I have my own software development company called Hecate, and we handle online security and network security for some major military contractors. We also test the security of major networks used by certain branches of the military.
So you're kind of a good hacker. You're testing out weaknesses, making sure they have a strong network, etc.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
And now, how did you meet Kimberly?
What? Who's that?
Kim. I mean the Korean girl.
Why do you have to westernize her name? There's still such a colonial mindset that we have to work to get rid of in this country.
It's just easy to remember. I mean, what should I call her?
A number. Okay, I'll refer to her as 427.
Okay, so
So we met on an anonymous chat site, and
this was for tech stuff. You're asking around the chat. You're going, "Hey gang, how's your hard drive?" And then someone else joins and says, "You can take a look at my hard drive."
No, it was a site for people who want to exchange information anonymously. I chatted with this person. It wasn't like that.
Well, the anonymous chat room I went on was like that, just to be clear. It just was a chat room for old-time radio fans, and yet, whatever the topic is, people end up sending me weird pictures. That's what chat rooms are for.
I started communicating with someone who confirmed they were a dissident in North Korea.
And how did they confirm that?
They send me a picture of the capital in Pyongyang. There's a giant monument with 3 hands holding a hammer and a sickle and something else. And digital analysis of those photos confirmed those pictures were taken there on that date that this person said they were.
But no pictures of 427. For example, an overhead shot. She's looking up and, wearing a low-cut blouse. Or although we've already established that you can't get too sexy in those denim pajamas that they wear.
No, nothing like that.
But it's a woman.
She said she's a woman working in a resistance movement, and she wanted to get some information to the U.S. military.
So there's a revolution brewing, and she wants to inform someone. in America so that organizations like the CIA, the Navy SEALs, Google can mobilize? And do you think it will be something like the Arab Spring? Is that what we're talking about here?
Whatever it is, I hope it's peaceful and she never gets hurt.
Do you think you have feelings for this girl?
Well, I
mean, sorry to put you on the spot, Byron. What's the tone of this exchange? Is it friendly? Does it get personal?
Well, she's told me a lot about her family. Everyone in her family except her and her mother have been taken away by the government, forced into labor camps, and they haven't heard from them since.
So this is a desperate woman. We got a question on the message board from Panny Pilot 666 who says, "How big is this resistance movement? Is it as big as my movement?" Look, any more talk like that, and I'll boot you off the chat stream, okay? And I assume he's talking about bowel movements.
She estimates about 100 people or so.
And how do they work together? I mean, the internet is strictly controlled over there. You can't do anything without someone watching you. Does she see any of these people?
They use some sort of primitive analog ways to communicate. Rocks are placed in specific locations, broken tree branches, backwards letters on signs pointing in certain directions. It's very elaborate, and because they just can't take any chances.
What about her communication with you? How does she do that?
Well, they have computers, and someone in the resistance is able to log into another network and surpass the system there. I don't know exactly, but that's what they say.
So she does see some of these other members face to face.
Yeah, occasionally, I guess.
But nothing serious.
What?
I'm just trying to see if she's in a serious relationship with anyone. I'm trying to figure out if you have a shot with this girl. Do you think you two would be compatible?
I'm sorry. I made a mistake on coming on this show. I don't want to talk about this.
Byron, let's be honest. All right. Do you have a girlfriend now?
I have lots of friends that happen to be girls, and we meet in virtual reality game rooms to play bocce ball.
Bocce ball. Oh, brother. Okay, what about this information exchange? Are you actually giving this person contact information?
Yes. I mean, I gave her a few email addresses of some officials in the military who I have contact with, and I thought that,
But don't you think you're compromising the security of the United States just handing over these email addresses? I mean, what do you get in return?
A picture?
Of a monument in Pyongyang.
No, of her.
So, you have seen a picture of her. What does she look like?
I haven't gotten the picture yet.
You need to get out more, Byron. I mean, in your line of work, I'd imagine there are a lot of Asian women you can date without compromising national security.
It's not just about... I don't just like Asian women.
I get it. You know, everyone has a thing. I couldn't marry an American. I had to marry a brunette from a former communist country. So, you know, everyone has their type, Byron.
I don't.
Before you send this person, who may or may not be a woman, any more military secrets, let them know you need a picture. A good one. At the very least, she needs to be in a two-piece swimsuit. You know, quid pro quo.
I gotta go. I can't.
Wait, Byron, one of my listeners, female booty inspector, asks, what do couples do in North Korea? Do they go on dates? That's an interesting question. Have you got any insight into the dating scene there in North Korea?
My contact says they go to missile launches together, and if no one is looking, they hold hands.
Missile launches. All right. And does that sound like... Oh, wait, there's one more question from Apple Butter Bottom 57. He or she says, you can see my missile launch right here. And there's a link below it. It's probably a he.
I'm sorry, I gotta go.
Well, thank you, Byron Farthermore. Interesting story, and thanks for your intelligent, insightful questions, everyone in the chat room. That went well with the chat stream. I hope to do it again in the future.
I'm not going to take any chances.
The Bell Howard Show.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Leave me a message at anchor.fm/Bell Howard, all one word. Let me know what's on your mind. If I like your message, I'll put it in the show. Thanks so much for joining us today, folks. Remember, stay safe, stay sane, and stay free. Bye now.
Iced tea, iced tea, iced tea.